Hi, this is Nick Collier. It's a beautiful October day, and we're going to take you into my studio and show you what we're up to this year, 2014. The first thing I want to show you is my new floor. I just put this in about 2 months ago. Up until just 2 months ago, I was living on the dirt, and it was not easy to do. Well, I put carpets down on top of the dirt, and that worked pretty well. But now we've got a really great wooden deck to work with, and underneath I put you can see the blue pipe underneath, some PEX pipe, and it just kind of winds all throughout the barn. And I'm going to hook that up to my wood stove and have water running through it, and it's going to give me some kind of a warmth at least, and it'll be better in the winter. Certainly not warm, but warmer. So, in the barn, we're going to start with the tubing roller, which does a really great job. It rolls, and I'll show you the piece of tubing that it rolled here a while back. We're in the metal forming department, the anvil and the grinder back in the corner here, and a project that I'm working on, a gate that I'm working on for a guy. And then just kind of coming back around to this is the B corner, the B frames and things. And we've got the wood stoves, although I don't have any that are complete as of right now. The last one just walked out the door, but we've got all the parts ready to go, and we got another order coming in too. So there we go. Swinging around, we'll come into this piece that I developed this last spring, and I haven't really done anything with it yet, but I'm going to be working on it soon. And this is a what would it be called, a portable fire pit. Now I've got the design together. Now what I need to do is get underneath and work out some kind of legs or something like that. It's just sitting on a ring right now. Then of course I've been working on rebuilding the front end for a 1934 Austin, which has been quite a project. This is a little sculpture piece that I scavenged out of the river, and it had probably been in the water for, who knows, 50 years. And you can see it's just rusty and kind of wiped out, and I added that little wooden piece to it. And pretty much this is how it did. I had to carry it out for, I don't know, a mile or two, and it weighs about 80 or 90 pounds. The anti-gravity device, which, we never got to work, but it was a fun project to make. And so I did that one about 5 years ago, and this one I did in the early 70s, which, of course, it was too weak also. So continuing on, we've got just another workbench with a bunch of tools. And let's swing around to the magnet motor, which I'm still in process of working on. And behind that, the Bridgeport, which is a great tool, an amazing tool. I just love working with that one. Some basic tools. This is the wood stove that the PEX pipe is going to hook up to. You can see right down on the floor, a little piece stubbed out there. And we got to bring in the other side. And once the wood stove gets complete, then we'll hook up the pipe to it. And I'll probably do a copper grate on the inside of this, back and forth, to get the fire to warm the water up. Behind that, the South Bend lathe, which I've had for, 20, 25 years now, and it's a great old lathe. But it just wasn't big enough for projects that I was coming up with. So, 5, 6 years ago, I purchased the Moss lathe, which is a 16 by 57 bed, 16-inch throw by 57 bed. Great lathe. And just a little while ago, I ended up with a tracer attachment, which basically, I don't know if you can see down there. We start with a master, and that little finger right back in there kind of follows the master shape and creates the shape up here. So that's kind of a cool tool. We'll move on to the welding bench and assorted projects. Working on a TV slide systems where you can lift the TV up and it's, you know, you can watch TV and then you can slide it back down behind the couch and get rid of it so that it doesn't bug anybody. Swinging around, we've got a couple of bandsaws. That's the big one. There's the little Harbor Freight one. Behind that, the kiln. And let's go inside. So what you saw a minute ago was the outside or the barn part of the studio, which is kind of open air, although we're attempting to close it. But, you know, in the wintertime, it gets cold out here. So this part is the interior part of the studio, which is more, let's turn a few lights on. It's more, I can fire up the wood stove. It can get warm in here. I can get nice and toasty. Got a couple of pots that I made over the last, some of them are a year old and some of them are a week old. So you can see that we've got a little bit of pottery going here. And I also do watercolors. So you can see this one here. This is of the Marysville Buttes, which is about 30 miles from us. Now coming back, this is a piece that I made, that I painted last week. I was just jazzed with it because I'm using, instead of using brushes, I'm using knives and pulling the paint across. And that one came out really good. I'm really pleased with that. Across here, a couple of more watercolors. You can see these are, I love these two pieces. And, well, let's go back and check out a little bit more of the studio, or the pottery part of the studio, which is this part right in here. We've got plenty of room. And we're going to move into the other part of the studio. And you can see right off the bat the dome that I built to get as much light in as possible. And I think I kind of overdid it, but hey, you know, it really looks great, and it's going to be it is a great bench and workspace. Coming on in, let's turn some lights on. Coming on in, we can see the rest of the studio. We've got a few more watercolors up on top here. And, oh yes, the novels that I've written, there's 16 of them that are finished, but only 6 are in print. So there you can see that. Here's a piece that I'm working on currently. This just kind of got started. I just began it. I don't know where it's going to go because this kind of work is not, you know, there's no plan to it. It's just like free form, just like what's going to happen. We don't know. Here's a piece that I did, some time ago, probably about a year ago. It came out pretty good. I love that hat. Now we'll go down and we'll look at some silver jewelry that I have. Let me turn our light on. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work or not. I don't think so. Better without the light. So that's a few silver pieces in the studio. And then over here, we're going to kind of come over to the gold pieces. And you can get a kind of a view of what they are. Let's come in from this direction here. Yeah, that's better. And you can see that I got 1 or 2 pieces. I got a little game when it comes to jewelry. So coming back up, this is a really great piece. I just really love this piece. And this piece was, you know, it took a half an hour. When it works really well. We were at Jug Handle Beach over in Mendocino, and I sat down with this piece of paper and some brushes and paint and watercolor and did this, as I said, in about a half an hour. You know, of course, I've struggled since trying to do others like it, but they don't come out as well. This one came out really good. Over in the corner back over there is the first of the knife acrylics that I've attempted. Came out pretty good. And we're going to go down into the bench part of my jewelry making. And the bench actually was made from a tree that was on the property. It had died. It was a cedar tree. And if you look out the window, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, straight out the window, that cedar tree there. Well, the tree that I ended up cutting down that had died was about twice as big as that tree. And I cut it down and put it on a trailer and took it over to a neighbor who's got a mill. And he cut up all that lumber. And I ended up making this bench and this bench over here and the welding bench over here and the bench in the other room that with the pottery on it. Now we'll come back into the wood stove, which is kind of a cool little stove, and it keeps this place nice and toasty in the wintertime, as long as I crank it up early. And then over here, my drawing table. You know, when I don't draw out too much, but when I have, you know, a specific problem that I've got to work out to get the angles right, I'll come in and draw this. Now, the cool part about this is I built this with a roll right here, and this unrolls and runs across the table and then re-rolls on this back roll. So I probably got 10 years worth of drawings and sketches all saved up back there. Here's one that I'm kind of working on. Well, I'm not working on it anymore, but I worked on it for a while. And it's just basically I worked out these angles real quick, like, you know, it took 10 minutes or so. Okay, let's look back on the studio itself. And you can see that it's a nice place to be. And come visit. This weekend and next weekend, the open studio tour is happening, and please come visit.